Members of the squad calling for a ceasefire as Israel fights Hamas terrorists in Gaza. Watch this.
How many more killings is enough for you? Is it 1,000 more? 2,000 more? 3,000 more? How many more Palestinians would make you happy if they die?
Most America is not with you, Mr. President. Most of America is not with the people that don't want to de-escalate and facilitate a ceasefire.
But experts are warning that the radical stance by some on the left could push Democrat-leaning Jewish voters to reconsider their vote ahead of the 2024 elections. Let's bring in a couple of voters from the New York area. Israel activist and independent voter Lizzy Savetsky, screen left, and independent voter Aliza Licht. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
All right, so as we just heard a couple of members of the squad, Lizzy, what about that disturbs you?
Everything. Calling for a ceasefire when we still have over 200 hostages being held captive is absolutely appalling. I don't know of any other country that would be held to that standard.
Right.
Israel's constantly held to a double standard. Historically,
here in New York, the Jewish community votes Democrat. However, when you see Democrats, super progressive Democrats with that point of view, do either of you know of Democrats here in New York who are thinking, you know what, I'm not going to do the Democrat thing this time?
Yes, because I think it's very disturbing for a lot of people that people are defending terrorists. I mean, Hamas and ISIS are the same thing. It should be simple. It should be, but it's not. And that is, I think, there's fundamental American values that are just out the window right now. And I think that is the trigger for moving over.
And, you know, we've shown images of people tearing down the posters that show the Hamas atrocities. And it's like, well, we're sticking up for Hamas and the Palestinians and things like that. However, you both have seen with your own two eyes and your families anti-Semitism. I know you have a child in higher education, and it's rampant on their college campus.
Not only is it rampant, but the open letters that professors are signing to continue.
The professors.
The professors. I mean, it's almost anarchy, honestly. And at this point, Jewish students do not feel safe on campus, and there have been assaults that have been reported.
Well, anytime you've got a professor who's talking about death to Israel, and that's your professor, it's like, does he know I'm Jewish?
And you're probably not going to get a good grade.
That's true, too.
Yeah.
You got a kid in...
Yeah, I have kids in a Jewish day school, so it's definitely a concern that's at the forefront of our minds. You know, we have increased security at our synagogues, at our schools. My kids are aware of these things. I was in Israel on October 7th, and since then, it's just, you know, it's just been a lot of trying to comfort my children, and we're living in just very uncertain times.
Karine Jean-Pierre had a comment regarding safety. We're going to play that for you and then get a comment. Watch this.
What is his level of concern right now about the potential rise of anti-Semitism in light of everything that's going on in Israel?
So a couple of things. We have not seen any credible threats. I know there's been always questions about credible threats, and so just want to make sure that that's out there. But look, Muslim and those perceived to be Muslim have endured a disproportionate number of hate-fueled attacks.
Lizzy?
No credible threats. Has she been on a college campus? Has she been on social media? I cannot believe that this is the report that is coming from our White House press secretary and then shifting the focus to Islamophobia. We need to talk about both issues, anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, but to just completely gloss over anti-Semitism, it's risen 1,200% since October 7th. It's just insane to me.
She was just reading what somebody put in the big book of answers, which she answers every day.
I don't know if that's an excuse, honestly. I mean, she did retweet after that, of course, we're concerned about anti-Semitism, so she walked back her comment. But, I mean, what about Rashida Tlaib, who just leaves her tweet up of fake news of 500 people killed in a hospital that didn't happen?
I know.
You know that tweet has over 37 million views? And people believe it.
Absolutely.
They have blood on their hands because anti-Semitism is rising, as we're seeing, and it's going to be on, this narrative that they're putting out there is affecting all of us.
It is indeed.
People say anti-Zionism is an anti-Semitism.
We appreciate both of you coming in.
Thank you
and
so
sorry
much.
that your families are going through so much.
Thank you.
It's terrible. I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.